Let's get started for the moment you all were waiting for. Hello, everyone. My name is Bharat, and I'm uh, representing InfosecTrain up over here. And welcome to our latest webinar on Defense with Kali Purple. I hope this particular Kali Purple OS, you all might have heard about it on internet a lot, and you might have checked multiple different videos, blogs, which are available online for this. So today we are going to uncover this entire Kali Purple OS because so far we all were using Kali Linux for attack box, right? It was basically one of our attack boxes, favorite attack boxes, I would say, which we used to do, which we used to have in our any pen testing work or any of our offensive work, right? Now, the same organizations, offensive security, Kali, basically, they do have introduced the latest version of Kali, that is Kali Purple. And in this Kali Purple operating system, we are going to talk about lots of things. So it is going to be a lot of, I would say, interactive, fun, and good session, and you will be learning something new, of course, over here. I'm SME Blue Team, subject matter expert Blue Team at InfosecTrain, and I do have more than 10 plus years of experience as of now into this field of information security. So I started my career as a red teamer, as an offensive player, where I used to do the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing and red team activities. Uh, in my profile and in my red team activities were my forte, and after I would say after few time giving good amount of time to offensive side, I didn't feel a bit challenging, so I brought myself into the defensive side of the security. And from past 5 plus years as of now, I'm working on this defensive side, majorly heading the security operations center and taking care of all the SOC services, be it incident response, malware analysis, threat hunting, digital forensics, anything. So these are like few of the things I am working upon. And apart from it, basically both of these particular mixture of the offensive and defensive had made my profile and myself also into this purple teaming side, where we do basically nowadays I'm focusing more towards the active defense. Let's proceed. So our today's agenda would be basically these pointers. So we'll understand what this Kali Purple is all about, what it has to bring to us, right? We'll understand this entire Kali Purple OS. It's a defensive OS, right? So it's one of its own kind of defensive OS. The very first time someone has basically released an operating system that is focusing towards the defensive security. You do have various different operating systems for various different purposes, like you do have Parrot OS, you do have Kali Linux. Majorly, all the hacker-centric tools are there into that particular distribution, and it was always basically I have seen, like, especially I have myself seen a lot of people basically asking the question how to set up our own SOC environment or a home SOC lab kind of thing for us. So this distribution solves all those particular problems for you, and we are going to understand this particular part. Then we are going to talk about tools, what sort of tools it does have, what's its architecture. Majorly we'll talk about that, because generally what I have seen, what I have assessed in the market is that people generally think that one operating system you will install, you will get everything. No, it is not. It has brought up something which is quite interesting and which will be quite helpful to us. So let's proceed with that. So understanding Kali Purple OS, I would say. So this is basically the line or the statement which is from offensive security. They started it as a proof of concept, right? Then evolved into a framework, then a platform, and now they are calling it a movement. So that's quite good. So what I will say is Kali Purple is basically an operating system, which is majorly being specialized for the defensive security for us. So in defensive, why we are saying defensive security is like it is a box which basically does have all the defensive side of tools, like what you need to defend yourself, all those tools for monitoring, for response, for engaging, for recovering, all these things. It does have those tools already within it, or already within its framework. So this is what this operating system is all about. It's not like that it just have the only defensive tool. All those pen testing tools which were there are already there, right? And apart from it, it has added few more tools for incident response and security monitoring specifically. So offers a ultimate architecture of sock in a box kind of solution. So what you can do is you can have your own lab, you can have your own virtual lab setup where you can install this distribution, and then you can have one server, one client, one victim, and then you can use this Kali Purple to basically look for the attacks and do the attacks, and then understand the attacks in the same way from the defensive perspective. In order to download Kali Purple, right, you need to simply visit, like, if you guys have installed Kali Linux, it won't be that much hard. So simply we have to visit this kali.org. We can simply come to this get Kali option on the top, installer images, and now we do have already an ISO file for Kali Purple which we can download. Can you see this Kali Purple feeling red, feeling blue, purple? You do you, right? So this is something which is an enterprise grade solution. So simply you need to click on this and your download will getting started up over here, something like this. Since I do have already the tool available with me, so I'll just keep it up over here. But this is how you can basically download this particular tool. Simply you need to download the ISO file, then basically the installation part comes. Purple OS has brought about is that they have brought about the tools according to this NIST framework. What you need the tools in terms of identification, protection, detection, response, and recovery. Right, so that's one of the best things. Yet Kali Linux, Kali Purple OS is not something which is fully functional. They are still adding more and more things to this particular tool. So it's a very early stage of this. And my reason for covering this particular part was that people should be aware about it, that there is a distro up over here which does helps for defensive security as well, right? Simply a step-by-step guide, right? Rather than basically focusing on installation, simply you download the ISO file. And if you have installed Linux earlier, it won't be hard for you to basically install this one, right? All the features are same. All the features are same except for the last window, which I have added to my slides as well. So I'll show you in a minute or something. I'll show you which one I'm talking about. You need to basically select your configurations. What I'll recommend is you should have minimum 60 GB, 8 GB RAM for your 60 GB hard disk and 8 GB RAM, and minimum 2 CPU cores for your Kali Linux Purple, because it's not the only machine which will be there in your environment. You will be having multiple different machines. It is just one of them which you will be having, right? So we do not want to make it very high end, high core, but yes, it will be something which will be hosting most of our tools. So at least 8 GB RAM should be there. All these information which you see, you need to add up over here, right? This window which I was talking about, in that, in the end, you will be asked, right? During your installation, you will be asked that you need to basically go through all of these. So make sure that you do select all of these particular options before you do continue and complete your installation. So this is all. That's all for installation. Your Purple OS will be something like this, over here. So this is one of them which I have taken an way to install and to show you how it looks like. So once you do install, it comes with a very fine, I would say, part up over here, right? This is all new Kali Purple for you. They do have desktop settings now. They do have proper themes. It comes, by the way, it comes with this default part. So let's keep this way. And you do have your simple, sophisticated Kali Linux up over here, right? The best part which I wanted to show you over here, can you see this identify, protect, detect, respond, recover? It, these are the tools which they have added. Apart from that, all the tools which were there in Kali Linux, they have just modified them, they have just upgraded the tools. But these are the tools which you see you do have. You do have very minimal antivirus, that is clam antivirus, right? You do have in detection, you do have GrokEvent for parsing the logs, finding the logs. Yet there are a lot of things to come up over here. I'll take you towards the GitLab documentation of Kali Linux, Purple, and these are like few of the bundles which are coming with your default installation, right? Now it does have tools like CyberChef with it. So simply you do start with it and it will load the tool for us. Before that, let me take you towards the documentation of this. So this is the documentation. I'll give you all the links, and this is your Purple OS. Now it does have thousands of tools, right? Hundreds of tools in the defensive purpose. Now can you see this 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 and 1000, right? These are basically your tools which you will be having, right? So all of them will be independent. So what you do is once you have installed Kali Purple, right? The one which I showed you via the ISO, it comes with this one, identify part, right? So you do have installation part. If you want to basically look into the installation, simply come up over here, click on the installation and it will take you towards the installation, right? And once you are on installation, you will see hundreds of defensive tools are there. Then for OpenCTI, for Elastic Agent, then again you have to basically go through a different operating system, right? You will coming, you will be going for a different operating system for 200, right? So when you do come up over here, they have named this one. The first one is Kali Violet, the one which we installed. The second one is Byzantium. So for that installation, you can come up over here. You can select what you need to install and simply you can proceed with that. So likewise, you will be proceeding it for all of them. 300, 400, 500, all of these particular operating systems. Now this defensive operating system, let me show you a few things up over here in this documentation. How does the architecture looks like what was their plan for this particular part? So right now we do have this Kali Purple where we can install Elastic Stack. There is a documentation step again for Elastic Stack available, that how you need to install this Kali Purple. There is this particular entire stack available up over there. I will be explaining you this entire diagram, right? So it's a quite big image, so it has to be zoomed and then only explained. So I'll just come back to that. So right now, guys, once you will install your Kali Purple from Kali's website, this Kali Purple will come up over here. They have named it as Kali Violet as well, where you will have OpenSSH RDP and you can, it is yet to be integrated. Elastic Stack, if you will download Kali right now, you won't have Elastic Stack, Elastic SIM basically. Uh, Inside Kali right now, if you have to install it, there are steps which they have mentioned step by step. You just need to copy and paste the commands, you will be able to install it, but yet to be bundled with the ISO. It is not being bundled yet. So this is the one where detect works for us. Then we have to install one more Kali for this Byzantium, right? Where we will have our firewall OpenSense, we will have our IDS IPS, Suricata, we will have our Squid proxy, and we will have our Nginx, WAF, all these things, right? This is protect. Now I'll basically draw architectural diagram how it will look like. So you will have one distro of your Kali Purple. This is something which I'm suggesting. It is not something which is mandatory to be followed. But if you have to basically download and have a setup of Kali Purple, I would suggest you have this. Have one Kali Purple installed from Kali's website. Then have one Windows machine that will be Windows VM, right? Windows victim machine. And if you want a different Kali for the attack box, you can have a different Kali altogether for attack box. You can say so Kali attack box, right? And there will be another Kali which will be Byzantium. So it will be having your Kali protect part, right? Kali purple protect part. Now in protect it will have your firewall IDS IPS and all, right? So your connectivity will be like this. Your detect will be connected to this and via this Kali. this Windows VM will be also connected to this, right? You will be installing your agent. Now via this Kali, you will be attacking this Windows machine, right? Or services of this Windows machine, which will be going to this particular Kali as well, because both of these will be connected as well via agent, and detection and prevention will work up over here, right? I'll just write it up over here. So this is where your detection and prevention will work. So actually it's not a single OS. It is a OS which does have the tools, but you need to create a lab setup for it, right? So this type of lab setup you need to create so that you can do detection and prevention via these two boxes of your Kali Purple, right? So in the end, you will install a WinLogBeat agent over here, right? Let's say Beats agent will be installed over here, which will be configured to share the logs over here to your Elasticsearch, which will be available up over here, and all of your firewall, IDS, your EDR, all these tools, you will be having it on this machine. Make sense? So all those logs will be also coming up over here to your detect part, and this is how your architecture, like on a very layman note, this is how your architecture is going to be look like. Make sense? Now, this is one purple, this is Kali violet, this is Kali eminence, and this is Byzantium, right? Now, what they were saying was, let me just have the image actually. So now see, what they were actually saying were that each layer which you see up here, they have explained that this is going to be attacker machine, where your threat intel platform will be there, where your vulnerability management system will be there. So why they do call SOC in a box kind of thing is, the SOC in a box will be playing its role something like this, right? So you will be having your all the protection tools up over here where alerts will be generated real time, right? So if alerts are going to be generated real time, right? Any attack happens, let's say on a Windows machine, you are intentionally running a malware. So alerts will be generated via your firewall IDS IPS. It will be stopped, and then same visibility you will have it in your Elastic Stack over here. So you will have the same visibility up over here that this thing has happened, this was the application, and that's how it looks like. Even you will have your threat intelligence being integrated up over here, right? So the latest threats, the latest integrations, you will be able to find it up over here. So now what is the scenario is, what the scenario overall makes up over here is, me as an intentional hacker, for learning purpose I'm saying, me as an intentional hacker, I will be attacking the machines in multiple ways, right? And then these machines are going to share the logs, like of course, agent has been there, so it is going to share the details to these machines. And as a defensive analyst, you will be having the visibility that how these things are working and what sort of logs it is generating. So it is beneficial to both the red teamers, they can see that what visibility the blue team does have, so that they can plan more stealthier attacks, and the blue teamers basically because they will be able to see if attacker, let's say, runs mimikatz, so what sort of logs are being generated in our elastic sim, what sort of alerts are being given by our IDS IPS, and what sort of activity the system is basically able to detect, right? So it will give you the real time learning of this entire part. That's why it's known as the sock and the actual sock in the box, right? Kali autopilot. So yet again, it is one of the things which is going on, but this is basically what we do have as autopilot, right? And let this image load. So this autopilot is nothing but actually your automatic script builder for attacks, right? So in case if someone just want to basically build the scripts for attacks, using those scripts you can actually attack the machines and then you can view the logs for the same, right? So this is Kali Autopilot. It is yet under development and it will be available in one of your Kali packages, right? So you will be able to see once it has been available. Like right now, if I show you, just a sec. So right now, if I show you, let's say apt get install. Yeah, now it is available. So earlier it was basically not available, but yes, now it's working. So this is Kali Autopilot, the automatic script builder for you for the attacks, right? I'll give you a visibility for that. And can you see the cyber chef is already being loaded for me? As soon as I give up the command cyber chef, it was being loaded. And now we do have autopilot. We do have tools like autopsy up over here, right? You can see autopsy, it will just basically load. Of course, I right now I do not need it, so I just have cancelled it. But yes, once autopsy have been started, you can just visit this URL and you can use autopsy up over there. And then you do have lots of tools though, basically. And our work as of now is Kali Autopilot. Now this is the automatic attack generator. Just tell which interface where, set in particular IP address, name IP, and attack scripts, right? If you want to import your own scripts, right? Whatever your script is over here, paste it up over here, and it will start basically generating the attacks on that particular target. Scripted attack sequence you can basically make and generate, right? That is one of the major things up over here which they do have, right? So that you can learn on what things you have to be there on defensive side. So it's all basically about learning. They have enhanced this particular part all for the learning purposes, right? So this is good one. So tools which you see up over here, Elastic Agents is part of this Byzantium. This is detect actually. This is where your Elastic stack will be installed. So you can actually come to this particular part and you can see like once after being installed, this is your archive actually. It's a full packet capture. Like you guys have heard about Wireshark. So it is something which is a lot more than Wireshark, right? It does the full packet capture. And then we do have tools like Malcolm, this one. So this tool basically does helps us to do the network analysis in very much detail. So you can see all these particular protocols based upon that logs. You will be able to see all these details. So all these tools which have been mentioned up over here are just up over there, like NeoFetch. You do have NeoFetch up over there. It is basically for your Kali Purple. It does gives the actually info of your entire Kali Purple. What is basically the OS details and all those particular part. Autopilot I already did showed you. One more thing which I would like to show you in this purple architecture is now see we will have the attacker machine for the defensive side. For red teamer there will be attacker machine. For blue team there will be threat intel platform which will be integrated with your SIM solution Elastic SIM. You will have vulnerability management system. They are using OpenVAS as a vulnerability manager tool, right? And we do have firewall. We do have OpenSense firewall up over here. We do have web application firewall also available up over here. We do have web filters like proxies. We do have, right? We do have IDS, IPS, Suricata. SIM is your Elastic search. Full packet capture and analysis is basically being done by Archive and Malcolm. These two tools. So using this, and you do have intentionally vulnerable machines. You might have heard about DVWA and all those particular machines, right? So you can add those to your Kali, and simply you can just do the attacks, and you can view the things up over here. So this is what they have mentioned up over here in their OS. Coming back to your slides. So this was your OS architecture actually. And regarding your tools, as I mentioned, it does have 100 plus defensive tools. So I'll give you overview of few of them. Archive, as I mentioned, it's an open source network traffic analysis and a full packet capture tool, right? It is for network traffic. It will collect all the network traffic data in large volumes, and it will give us a web-based interface to perform the in-depth analysis, right? So that is Archive. Then you do have CyberChef, again a web-based tool, and it is actually being used to perform various different tasks. Like you can use it for cryptography, for encoding, for data manipulations, right? Multiple different things you can use it for. You do have elastic security. So this is something from again elastic as a company where you do have elastic security. It combines your SIM solution capabilities with your endpoint security, right? So you can say EDR kind of thing. So it provides you endpoint security, it provides you threat hunting detection features. So elastic security is actually good. If you have heard about it, it is known as elastic defend. Yep. So protects your host and clouds for threat detection, prevention, and pure data security visibility, right? So anything which will happen, like it's your own EDR, again open source, so it's your own EDR, and you can basically use it for detecting multiple different threats, even stopping them, right? It does have both the features, detect and prevent. So that is your elastic security. Then you do have GVM. GVM is your greenboard vulnerability management, which is open source vulnerability management systems, and it does have OpenVAS as the vulnerability scanner. You do have the Hive again for incident response. It is being used, right? It actually gives you the collaboration. Let's say more than one people is going to work on a case, right? So you can use the Hive for that. We do have Malcolm. It's network traffic analysis tools, just like Archime, the first one, right? It captures, stores, analyzes your network traffic data for your forensic purposes. Suricata, as you all do know, it's your IDS IPS actually. It's open source intrusion detection prevention systems and one of the best ones available in market. It's just not only Suricata, it does also have Zeek, which was earlier known as Bro IDS, right? Now Zeek over here is used for network security monitoring, right? Zeek is used for network security monitoring and IDS IPS work Suricata does. There is this defect dojo. It is again a vulnerability management platform. Whatsoever open source there were in the market, they have selected all of them. So that's again an open source vulnerability management platform. It basically helps you to prioritize your vulnerabilities which you have found in your softwares actually and applications. Then you do have this DScan, again a different vulnerability scanner which identifies the vulnerabilities in your web, right? It's a web vulnerability scanner, you can say. Websites and web application, it assesses the security postures and identifies the vulnerabilities. Like all these are defensive tools, you see. It does have DScan. DScan is basically again, as I mentioned for websites, then it does have this pack 2. Pack 2 basically, it is, you can say, a specific tool or a software, but uh, it is something which is they have included Kali is building their own utilities and tools, so they have included this pack 2 as a reference set for Kali's own tool in terms of defensive purpose, where we believe, like as of now in community, there are basically just specific speculations that it is going to have multiple different tools together in terms of encoding, compression, and zipping, right? So encoding, encryptions, and whatever your PDF analysis kind of like Kali's own, basically you can say P analysis tool kind of thing, right? Then there is Red Eye. Again, it is unclear what it refers to. They have not added any data as of now up over here. And Unicrypto is basically again for your cryptography challenges, like for your encryptions. It is yet upcoming tools, right? These last 3 are yet upcoming tools which are not there in your Kali Purple as of now, but will be there very soon. So Elasticseam, Archime, and of course, like the defensive menu which I showed you as per NIST it does have. So all these tools basically are as per your NIST itself, and within NIST, like after your architecture, you just need to come to these things. You just need to proceed with that. Like yes, you want to basically install all these tools which I mentioned are being mentioned up over here as well. You can download Malcolm over here, Hedgehog over here. These are again based upon the Kali Purple itself. Let's say you do not want to basically do the installation over on your own, so you can download the ISOs, Malcolm. It is available over here, Hedgehog. So all this information basically does comes to give you the sock in the box solution, actually what we were talking about. And if I show you the repository, right, there is all the things which we were talking about mentioned up over here. Your architecture for your purple, for your eminence, right? Let's say for example I want to go for eminence, right? So Malcolm installation, so I can just simply come up over here, use these commands, and I will be able to install Docker, I will be able to install Malcolm, right? Similarly, you go back for your Byzantium, right? You do have Elastic setup up over here. So to set up Elasticsearch, you do have this link. mm, installation.txt. So it is Elastic Stack installation. What I was saying was that it is yet to be bundled in ISO. You just need to follow these steps, install the dependencies, copy this, simply take it inside your VM, and once you are inside your VM, you need to just paste it and run. That's it. I guess my paste would not, yeah, it is over here. So I simply say install, and you will see all of my installation basically does get started up over here, right? So likewise, I need to just copy the commands. Of course, I want you to read all the things. Copy the commands and paste it. It will install your Elasticsearch inside your Kali Purple. Make sense? So this is entire documentation of your Purple, and this Excel sheet also I would like to highlight so that you can keep a track. You of course you have to come to this GitLab again and again to get the latest of Excel sheet. You can keep a track what sort of tools are there, what sort of tools should be there on client, what sort of tools should be there on server, right? Which category it will be part of, and what is yet to come. As I mentioned, you can see Elasticsearch is yet to come. CyberChef, now they have added, right? Yet to be packaged. That means they will be adding these particular things to the OS with the new updates, right? So you can see all these things, your IAB tools, you can see in Eminence which tool basically should be there. Archive CyberChef for your Kali Purple, you do have Elastic Stack for Violet. Actually, you can have same for Purple and Violet, but if in case you do have space available, you can have different for Identify and different for Detect, and all the technical details which softwares and which technology it should be installed, right? So this Excel sheet which I was also having, it is available on this particular documentation itself. You can download it from here. So this is overall about guys your Kali Purple. Of course, there are a lot of things yet to come over here, but yes, it is not one operating system just like your Kali Linux. Purple OS is not one operating system which will have it all. It will be a mix of multiple operating system which will give you the entire feel of your sock in the box solution. Make sense? So this was all basically I wanted to cover, and I wanted all of you to know that what they do have and how they are basically having this particular part.